Okay, so you probably know I love me some Ninja Turtles. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, for God's sake, so how could I not be a TMNT fan? So much so, they seem to keep creeping into most of my top 5 lists I've done so far. So I said to myself, let's make a TMNT top 5 list and just get it over with. I don't argue with myself too much because I just can't win. So with that in mind, I give you Twitch's top 5 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video games. Number 5. TMNT The HyperStone Heist, a turtle game for the Sega Genesis? Yep, there were a few. Okay, 2, but HyperStone Heist was the best. When the Super NES owners got Turtles in Time, Sega owners got this game. It was mostly a Frankenstein monster hodgepodge of levels from Turtles in Time and Ninja Turtles the arcade game, but it did have an original story, and even though it was lesser known than the Super NES brother, it was still a heck of a good foot stomp in time. Number 4. TMNT 2, the arcade game on the NES. Do you remember the arcades? Probably not, but I do, and back in the day, the best looking games were always at the arcades. It was very rare for a home version of an arcade game to look just as good, but somehow TMNT 2, the arcade game for the NES, pulled it off. It looked great for the NES game, it played great, and even better, it even had extra levels that the arcade counterpart didn't have. That's bang for your buck. Or should I say, turtle power for your buck? God, never mind. Number 3. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters on the Super NES. Who would win in a fight? Leo or Mike? Don or Shredder? Etc, etc. Well, now you can find out. No, not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up on the Wii. I'm talking about Tournament Fighters on the Super NES. Now, there were 3 different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters out at the same time, and for each system, the NES, the Sega, and the Super Nintendo had different versions in their own way. But even though I have a soft spot for the NES version of Tournament Fighters, the Super NES Tournament Fighters is the best by far. It has all the Turtles, Shredder, and even some lesser-known backup mutants like Wignut and Armagon, or Armagon, or Gargagon, whatever. Anyway, you want to have a one-on-one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fight? Well, you know where to go. Number 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Genesis owners got the HyperStone Heist, Super Nintendo owners got Turtles in Time, and what did the NES owners get? The Manhattan Project. No, it has nothing to do with nuclear bombs, but it did have a lot to do with Turtles kicking a lot of shell. A game that came out on the NES near the end of the console's run, it still showed the NES had a lot to offer. This time, the Turtles feel more than just color swaps with different weapons. Now each Turtle has their own unique moves. The levels look better, the Turtles look better, and it was just fun. Too bad it got overshadowed by this next game. Number 1. TMNT Turtles in Time. Was there any doubt this was going to be number 1? No? Good. Now that we got that out of the way, remember how I said it was hard for arcade ports on consoles to live up to their name? Well, Turtles in Time wasn't just a great port of an arcade namesake, it was better than that. More options, awesome graphics, all the levels, all the bosses, a versus mode, and so much more. It was arcade perfect. So much so that when you talk about this game today, most people don't bring up the arcade version of the game, only talk about the Super Nintendo version. Cowabunga dude, it's turtle time! Now that was radical. I need to go eat some pizza now, but before I do, I want to remind you to put your own top 5 TMNT video games in the comment section down below, and it may or may not make it into my next top 5 list video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, I leave you with your own top 5 list from my last top 5 subject. Until next time, game fans, this is Twitch. Keep playing.